come on in, because we are reviewing Ready to Love season 8 episode 8, and my name is Deborah, and I do a date breakdown videos and recaps of the episodes. And today in this video we're going to be going over the dates and the meet the best friends, or meet your homies, meet your buddies, eat your ace boom coon, whatever we calling it this week. We're going to go over in this video the one with Herbert, Quinton, Janelle, Phil, and Katarina. I'm going to do separate videos on the other ones. I'm going to get to them. This weekend is kind of busy. I'm getting ready for next weekend, Labor Day. I got a big party. But I'm going to do this video now. But be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button. So when I do drop those other videos, you can be sure to get the alert. And you can watch it, and you can drop down in the comments and chat with me. If any of you guys are new to my channel, you know I love to chat about the episode and chat with all of y'all. So please do hit the like button and drop down in the comments and let me know you here. But before we get all the way started, I got a question to ask. I got to set the mood. So last week, y'all know that I was calling Herbert the time waster, the one that wastes women's time. That date last week told us that she hung around for 2 years and got zero, zip, nada, nothing. I said, oh, he's a time waster. So this week, folks had a question for Herbert.
You can reach me by sailboat, climb a train, swing rock to rock, take a sled and slide down slow into these arms of mine.
So it looks like they gave Herbert a whole lot of options. They said, you can reach them on a sailboat, you can swing on a rope, you can go down a sled on a slope, you can be on a speedy coat, you can cross the border, you can do all these things to get here. I just need you to get here, Herbert. When you gonna get here? When you gonna get here? You know what Herbert said? My timeline ain't your timeline. Which one do you think Herbert's gonna choose to get there if he can? And what he said is, I don't know if I can get there at all. Woo! Herbert's a time waster. Herbert is a time waster, and they finally sent him home. They sent him home. They said, we're not putting up with this. And let me tell you, when you go home when Janelle gets tired of you. I didn't know Janelle would vote for him to go off. I thought Janelle would keep him around so she could have a couple extra votes in this. But you know what? And let me tell you, Janelle is hooked on Quinton. I don't know if y'all watched my video that I did last week, midweek, but be sure to check it out. But I'm getting a whole lot of signs, even with this Meet the Friends, when her friend came as well to interview, when her friends came as well to interview Quinton and also interviewed Herbert. You could see the look in Janelle's eyes, and she is, I don't know why Janelle don't sit. I'm starting to get an idea about Janelle. Janelle is tough on the outside, tough on the outside. But what I'm finding out about Janelle is she isn't as tough on the inside. That's what I'm starting to figure out. I'm a hone in it a little bit more as we go forward. Maybe I'll even do a special video on it. But I think Janelle is falling for Quinton. I really do think she is. I think she's believing what he's saying. And I know that Quinton is talking about he wants to get married in 6 months. He could do it in 6 months. Do I believe that? No, I don't believe that. And I don't believe that he really is as much into Janelle as he says he is. Maybe he wants to be. But I just don't see it going forward, y'all. I just don't see it. But I think Janelle is believing it. You know what? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll be happy if I'm wrong at the end of the season. But right now, I'm going to go with that Quinton is kind of playing Janelle a little bit. I think he wants to win. But do their lives really line up? I don't think so. In the video I mentioned earlier, I think that Quinton wants a more risk-taking, adventurous, a bit more wild of a woman. Although Janelle has a wild mouth, and I think this is what throws people out. Janelle has a wild mouth, but I don't think that she has enough of a wild lifestyle that Quinton has. And remember, Quinton's ex-girlfriend said that he didn't want to just settle down with one woman. He didn't want to be committed to one woman. And then if you listen to the questions he asked Lee at her date, which we'll go over that in another video. If you listen to the questions that Quinton asked, It doesn't seem to line up with who Janelle is. And I think Janelle is sort of flattered by it. I think she likes the flirtatiousness of Quinton, but I don't think she can keep up with Quinton. I don't. And I think in any other world outside of this Ready to Love, Quinton wouldn't even really be checking for Janelle unless she was signing up to be one of his clients. That's it. That's what I'm going to say. I don't even think he would be really checking for her too much. He might. I think he thinks she's beautiful. I do think he thinks that. And I think she's a nice person. But would he be trying to check for her to be the love of his life, go off, get married, and have kids with? No, I don't believe it. And so in that respect, is he overpromising where he's going to underdeliver to Janelle? I think so. And is Herbert on the whole other end? I think so. Maybe some people say they will respect Herbert more because he tells the truth. No, I don't. I don't like slow people, because slow people like Herbert, all they really do is use that as an excuse. So they can say, well, I told you I wasn't going to be ready to 3 or 4 years. So even when they get to 3 to 4 years, then they need extra time. Next thing you know, you in a relationship with them for 5 years because even though 3 was too long for you, you held on to it. So you stuck in there for 3 years, and then they get to the 3rd year and now they need more time. Slow people are slow, period. I wouldn't waste my time with no slow man, especially if I'm in my late 30s or early 40s. I would still rather a man who says 6 months, but it takes him a year. I would still prefer that. I would still prefer a man who says, yeah, I could do it in 6 months, but it still takes him a year, versus a man who says, no, I'm at least need 3 years, and then ask for an extension. No, I'm not for that. Herbert said it was going to be a test to see if he and Janelle could compromise on this timeline. There is no compromise. And Janelle said, Herbert's on my bottom now. We can send him home. And Herbert's butt went on home. But it doesn't matter because Janelle is hooked on Quinton. Because even though in that midweek video I did when she went yoga class with Quinton, she didn't want to do yoga because she said yoga was an occult because it comes from Hinduism and it comes from Hinduism and Buddhism and all this other kind of stuff. And she didn't even want to too much do the yoga poses or do any of the yoga, none of the stretching, nothing. But she did a couple of the stretches and poses. But remember when she went out with Mario, she wouldn't even let Mario turn one card with that tarot card. She shut Mario down before he could even turn one card. But when she went with when she went with Quinton, she at least did 3 or 4 different little downward dogs, a few stretching, and then she called it quits and said, I'm not doing this no more. So she was willing to sacrifice some of her morals for Quinton already. She's hooked on Quinton. For a person who is so headstrong, so steadfast, who doesn't bend, what Quinton doesn't realize is that even when she did 1 or 2 poses in that little yoga classes, that was her compromise. That was her Janelle's not a big compromiser. She really isn't a big compromiser, which means wherever she starts, she's pretty much going to stay there. She's going to stick there. And where she's starting with, I think it's too conservative for Quinton. He's not going to like that. He's going to want a woman that's a little bit more carefree, a little bit more willing to take a risk. As he talked about in that other video, spontaneous. And I don't think Janelle is that. And we're starting to see these clips coming up in the next episode where Janelle is starting to get territorial over Quinton. Very, very territorial. And now I see how she and Katarina fell out. Out here in these IG streets, Twitter streets, because what it looks like Katarina starts going after Quinton. Because what it looks like is what we see from this episode is that Katarina doesn't have any connections anymore. Katarina doesn't have any connections. There's really no one who's choosing Katarina as her top, and there's no one that Katarina is choosing as her top. Because first of all, the 2 people that Katarina went out with was Herbert and Phil. And she said on this episode, one is she wasn't interested in Herbert because, like we said, he's slow walking it. So he's out, he's gone, he was eliminated. And she said in this episode that Phil might be for someone, but Phil isn't for her. I pretty much think there's people are backing up off of Phil, Katarina, and also Lee, all backed up off of Phil because they want Phil for Aries. We talked about these cliques out here. We said the clique is Katarina, Aries, and Lee. And the other clique is Janelle, Jessica, and Sierra, along with Mario over there, because he really is part of the club too. And you can see that Katarina backs up off of Phil because she doesn't want him. She says he's for somebody, he's not for me. And like I said, In another video, we're going to go over that date with Phil and Aries because there's red flags there too. So be sure to tune in to what I got to say about that. So right now, Katarina has no connections. She doesn't have Phil. She doesn't have Herbert, who she came on here to meet her friend named Allie. And they said between the two of them, they're Alley Cat. Girls, you need to get rid of that name. You need to get rid of the name of Alley Cat because Alley Cats are for the streets. Why would you call yourself the Alley Cats and Alley Cats are for the streets? Katarina, don't put yourself in that light. One thing I can't say about Katarina is I think Katarina might be a bit of a gold digger, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I'm picking up a gold digger vibes for Katarina. You know, not Phil. Herbert came on this day saying, why isn't Katarina already married, or why isn't Katarina snatched up? Because he's trying to figure it out too, because here's Katarina, got it going on. She's tall, she's beautiful. She seems like a nice young lady. Why isn't she hooked up? And I'm wondering if it's who the men Katarina chooses. Does Katarina only go out with men who got a lot of money? And so she's not looking at the substance of the man. She's too busy looking at his wallet. I'm starting to get the vibe of that because that friend of hers, Allie, she kept emphasizing it over and over again. And it's not that everyone doesn't want a stable man. Of course, everybody wants a stable man, a secure man. But that friend of hers kept mentioning it over and over again, which kind of tells me that might be more what she's saying Katarina needs. Katarina needs a man that makes a lot of money. And I think Katarina figured out that there was no rich man on this show. Not a one. And I'm not too sure any of these men were really checking for Katarina. And they were going back and forth on this show about who was not texting who. There's a lot of conversations this whole season about women getting ghosted by men. A lot of them. I don't think there's not one woman who hasn't said that they've texted these men and they haven't texted back. Not a one. None of these men were really interested too much in any of these women. And if they were interested, they were kind of only interested in maybe one woman at the most. This is what I'm going to say. So once again, you have another scene, another discussion of Katarina telling Phil, oh, you didn't text me back. And I got the receipts for you and showing it. But you know what? I much prefer the way Katarina handles it. I much prefer the way that even Janelle handled it when she said that Herbert hadn't texted her back. I much prefer just bringing it up and talking about it. You don't have to be mean or rude about it. You can make a joke about it. You can be lighthearted, but you can also bring up that it happened. That's why I had a problem when Lee got all closed mouth with Quinton when Quinton said, sorry, I didn't call you back or I ghosted you. And she got all in her feelings. We're going to talk about that Lee date over there with her friend, Muffin. Muffin wouldn't be no friend of mine. But anyway, we're going to have a discussion about that in another video. So be sure to tune in for that one as well. Like I said, subscribe to my channel so you get the alert when I drop that video. But Phil's not really interested in Katarina too much. Neither was Herbert. So now I see why Janelle and Katarina going to get into it, because now Katarina's got to find somebody to keep her on this show. She got to make a connection somewhere. So we're going to see if she run over there to Quinton and see if she can make a connection with Quinton. And it looks like that dog fight of Janelle's going to come on out, and she's going to get very territorial because, like I said, Janelle is into Quinton. Janelle is hooked on phonics. She's hooked on Quinton. And I think Janelle knows that any other world, more than likely, she wouldn't be with a Quinton. No, more than likely, this man who's much younger than her in the shape that he's in would not choose Janelle for his woman. And the fact that she's so conservative, all of it put together. I'm not going to say this is because of her age. I'm not going to just say it's because of the way she looks. I'm going to say all of it together doesn't add up to the woman that Quinton would choose. Now, I do know that Quinton likes feisty women because that woman he chose and brought as his ex, she was feisty. So he likes a feisty women. He does like feisty women, but I don't know if he likes the mouth on Janelle. Next week, we see Janelle doing a whole lot of cussing, and I'm not sure he likes that. There's a part of me about Quinton that tells me he is a bit of an F-boy, but I think he also likes a little bit of intellectual stimulation. I think he does like that in Janelle, too. Because I think that when Janelle is probably with him by himself, she might can have a better, deeper conversation. But the problem is that insecurity in Janelle comes out later. A lot of this mean girl stuff that Janelle is having is part of it is actually insecurity. She comes off as tough. She comes off as strong. But the fact is, I see a lot of insecurity in Janelle. And when she feels insecure, that's when the mean girl comes out. That's when she likes to fight back. It becomes her go-to. And like I said, a lot of that behavior that she does, putting you down and doing that, that's to weaken you, because in a lot of ways, I think Janelle doesn't feel superior in certain situations. And what she does is she tries to put you down so she can elevate over you. I'm not going to try to psychoanalyze her too much, but this tough girl, this mean girl act on the outside, I'm come to believe that it is a cover up for probably some sort of insecurities on the inside. And guess what? We all got insecurities, so it's not like it's nothing new, but I think it is a cover up. And I think it's about to really come out when Katerina starts chasing Quinton, because I think she does feel that Katerina could be a threat for her, because Katerina is a lot of things that she may not be. She's younger, she's slimmer. And let me tell you something. It's not that I don't think Janelle is a good woman, but I'm quite sure Janelle might have had some body image problems when she grew up. I think she did. And I think that she might have even gotten bullied when she was younger. I'm going to say that too, because one thing I know about bullies is a lot of times bullies become bullies because they got bullied. Janelle got bullied from some stuff, and I don't know all what it is. I don't know if it's her weight. I don't know if it's where she grew up. I don't know what it is. But people who sometimes live in a world of attacking others, a lot of times it was because they got attacked a lot. And what they decided to do was they decide not to be the one always getting attacked, but they decide to be the one that's going to attack. And Janelle has a very strong attack instinct to her, and it comes out very quick, and it comes out fast and strong. And I don't think that's a good pairing with Quinton. I don't think it is, because I don't think Quinton's a fighter. I really don't think he's a fighter, because in situations when he's come up against women who've said things or done things that he didn't like, with the remember when Kira said to him, he was very calm, cool, and collected the way he handled Kira. He didn't get irate. He didn't get over emotional. Like when we see things happening with, Chris, who gets emotional and things like that, he doesn't get emotional. He doesn't get that way. So I don't think that he's really gonna vibe with Janelle with that mouth, that cursing and that cussing, but yet she can't do a tarot card or can't do yoga, but she can cuss up a storm. Anyway, y'all, that's it. I gotta go, but be sure to subscribe to my channel and wait for my other videos when you get my alert. And I'll be dropping them probably tomorrow for sure. I'm gonna do some more. And if I get to one later on today, I will. Talk to y'all later. Bye.